Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. And today we will be talking about the 2022 Florida gubernatorial election because there's been a lot of hype around this election on both sides. So on one hand, just to jump right into it, the Democrats really think that they can pick up the seat. They think that Ron DeSantis isn't that popular. He bungled COVID-19. He can potentially lose this election. The Republicans really like Ron DeSantis. They think he's a great governor. And in a swing state like Florida, in a critical gubernatorial election, there's a lot to talk about. So first, I'm going to introduce who I think DeSantis' opponent is going to be, Democrat Nikki Fried. Nikki Fried she's basically running for governor. She hasn't announced, but if you follow her on Twitter, which I do because I've tried to follow as many statewide elected officials from both parties as I can, she's the Florida agriculture commissioner or something like that. But fun fact, she is actually the only statewide Democrat in Florida right now. But, Nikki Fried, she's been really on her Twitter account. She's been really calling out Ron DeSantis for a lot of things. I could just pull up this tweet right here. Today, I'm calling on Governor Ron DeSantis to vaccinate all teachers and school staff, agriculture workers, and essential employees facing a high risk of COVID-19. Our economy is dependent on our health. We have to protect our people. Again, you can find some more tweets that she called out DeSantis for. She's really, she's really anti-DeSantis in her Twitter feed. So, just to talk about her statewide win, she narrowly won. She won this race by 6,000 votes against Matt Caldwell. Don't really know any of these candidates. But she's the only statewide Democrat in Florida, and she had a pretty interesting coalition. So unfortunately, the New York Times doesn't have any data for this election, but Wikipedia does, so we're just going to be using that. So as you can see, she won Duval, she won Pinellas, she won Seminole, she won St. Lucie. She did better in, I'm forgetting the name of the county, which is kind of embarrassing, but this is a more suburban Tallahassee county that has a Republican lean, but the Democrats can win it occasionally. She did lose Monroe, which is kind of the swing county that she lost, that other Democrats that year carried, like Bill Nelson in the 2018 Senate race, if you want to take a look at that. Bill Nelson did end up carrying Monroe, but he still lost the state. Actually, he rated by 16 votes. It's closer than I thought. But to make a long story short, Fried, she had a good coalition. She essentially won all the swing counties. She did very well in Tallahassee. She did well in Jacksonville. She did well in Gainesville. Did well in Tampa. Did well in Orlando. And well in Miami-Dade County. So, Nikki Fried, she is a good candidate. I think the Democrats could do a lot worse. I mean, there are essentially two Democrats who've been speculated to run for the seat. It's probably her and Glenn Graham, and I think, they're both decent candidates, but her being a statewide elected official, as recently as 2018, and she flipped the seat, I believe. So it's an interesting thing to talk about. Now, Ron DeSantis is also elected statewide. As you can see, I pulled up the county results for his gubernatorial election. He was favored to lose. I remember on election in 2018, this was really like the first year I started making. 2016, I had kind of a prediction, but I wasn't as informed. 2018, I was really into it. I was really excited for the midterms. I did a county-by-county prediction for my I didn't do it for any other races, but I did it for my home state of California. I was pretty close. I actually thought it was fun fact. I actually was pretty dumb. I thought that Newsom was going to win by under 15%. So, anyways, just thought I'd bring that up. But I remember watching this race, and I had it as lean Democratic for, I remember I had it as lean Democratic for basically the whole time. And, I thought it was possible that DeSantis could have won that race, but I was really surprised when on election night he had the lead, and, it got closer the day after, but DeSantis was going to hold his lead. And I remember being pretty surprised that Gillibrand didn't win that race. So, as you can see right here, we're actually going to click on full Florida results to just close some of these other tabs. But DeSantis, he didn't really win the swing counties. He lost St. Lucie, he lost Pinellas, he lost Seminole, he lost Duval. He did win Monroe, but yeah, he also won Jefferson, which is the name of the county I'm forgetting. It's kind of, as you can see, he won it by around 7%. But yeah, he also did carry Escambia, which is somewhat competitive because of Pensacola, which is the smaller city down here that makes it kind of competitive, but still red-leaning. And there are these bigger Republican counties that he did well, and he did well in Brevard County, which you got 162,000 votes that he did well. In St. Johns County, where he got 83,000 votes, he did well. In Volusia County, where he got 124,000 votes, he ran it up in these more rural counties surrounding Orlando. They're not super rural, but they're still pretty rural. I mean, St. John's, I know, is the home of St. Augustine, but I know these are counties that he had to run it up in. He could not afford to do poorly in these counties, and he won the race against Gillum. Now, Gillum was not a good candidate. He is a progressive. Florida likes more moderate candidates. I think we all know that, especially the Hispanics in Miami-Dade. So Gillum, he won Miami-Dade by 21, but he still ran like 10 points behind Hillary Clinton. More like 9, but you know what I'm trying to say. So Gillum was not a great candidate, but he was expected to win in a Democratic wave year, and the year the Democrats won the generic ballot by 9. Ron DeSantis managed to pull off a narrow win in Florida, in a state that should have only voted a couple points to the right of the country. It ended up voting nearly 10 points to the right of the country because of DeSantis being popular enough with the Trump base to pull off a win. So, first of all, DeSantis, I think he is the dream candidate for the Republican Party. He has strong conservative views. He is very pro-Trump. He ran as a Trumpian Republican in 2018, but for whatever reason, unlike other Republicans, he did not alienate the suburban base. He still put up numbers that Mitt Romney had been putting up in 2012. He did not alienate suburban voters. And that's what I find so fascinating with DeSantis. No matter what he does, he still has appeal to these suburbanites. And they, for whatever reason, they love him. I don't know why. But they are going to come out for him in 2022 against probably Nikki Fried. So let's take a look at the overlap between DeSantis and Fried. So let's pull this back up. So as you can see, DeSantis, he lost Pinellas, he lost Seminole, he lost Duval, he lost St. Lucie in 2018, but he still, he still did well enough in these rural counties. Like taking a look at, I think the two key ones are Brevard, Volusia, and St. John's. I think I said 2. That's actually 3. Taking a look at Brevard, just to make an example out of this, Brevard. Let's go to county by county. Hopefully they don't have county by county, but Brevard was the county that obviously Nikki Fried lost, but she probably lost it by a little less than DeSantis. She probably lost it by a little less than Gillum. So I think that's what made the difference. I mean, in a state like Florida, where Nikki Fried only won by 6,000 votes, and Ron DeSantis only won his race by 24,000 votes, or 23,000 votes, excuse me. Wait, or no, that's 33,000. Oops, I can't do math. But, this is a race that really was not supposed to go to Ron DeSantis. In a Democratic wave year, he managed to pull off a victory. In 2022, it's probably going to be like a D plus 2 or 3 year. The Democrats are not going to lose the popular vote, but it's still not going to be anything close to 2018. And I think that Florida voted 9.5 points to the right of the national environment in 2018. If they do that again, we could see a 10% win, maybe even more, for Ron DeSantis in 2022. We could see these incredible shifts, towards the Republican Party that would not be seen in Florida for a very long time. So now, obviously, DeSantis has a blueprint. I mean, Trump, obviously, he had a disappointing result. He lost the election. He lost the Rust Belt. He lost Georgia and Arizona. That was disappointing for him. But he still had a very good performance in Florida. Now, Biden did pretty well upstate. I mean, he won Duval. He won Pinellas. He did very well in Madison, which I did not see coming. He did better in Escambia than most thought. He did better. Or he did about the same Jefferson, which he was projected to do pretty well there. He won Seminole, the first Democrat to win Seminole since, I think, like 1948 or something. So he did very well upstate. But he had a horrible performance in Miami-Dade. We've talked about this for the past, 3 months. We've talked about how poorly Joe Biden did in Miami-Dade County. And we know that Andrew Gillum won it by 21, Biden only won it by 7. So what should DeSantis' goal be? I think DeSantis' goal should be to lose Miami-Dade by under 10%. Now, obviously, Gillum, I think Fried can actually do very well in Miami-Dade. As you can see here, she had a pretty deep shade of blue, better than Biden at least. So, this is a tough decision for me to say how much DeSantis is going to lose it by, because he has the Trump appeal, he has Hispanic appeal. I know that pro political talk, who again, he's pretty moderate. He's bipartisan. I know him as a resident of Miami-Dade County. Says that he really likes DeSantis and that the people around him really like DeSantis. Again, that's anecdotal, and you don't want to use that just to make your predictions. But because I've heard bad reviews of DeSantis from Florida, I know people who live in Florida who don't like DeSantis, but we're still talking about a man who's pretty popular overall. And that's why I do think that he's going to win the gubernatorial election 2022. I mean, if he did in a blue wave year, I think he can do it again. Even if Fried is a better candidate on paper than Gillum, it doesn't matter. DeSantis is just so much more popular than he was in 2018, and in a year that's not going to be as democratic as 2018. So I'll show you my county prediction right now. Actually, I actually wrote about this on my newsletter, and I was gonna actually just pull it up and edit it in, and just show you guys at the end. But we're gonna have a discussion about this. So, first of all, okay, I don't know why that happened. My bad. First of all, Nikki Fried is probably going to win Miami-Dade by a likely margin. I think that DeSantis is going to achieve that goal that I set for him of losing Miami-Dade by around 10% or under. And I do think that Nikki Fried is going to hold Duval. I mean, DeSantis did lose Duval in 2018, and I get that was a blue wave year, but Duval's trending blue. This was a Biden county. Obviously, he's going to lose Tallahassee, Leon, and Gadsden. He's probably going to lose in these Orlando areas. Actually, he might lose by a likely margin in Osceola County. But he's going to lose Orange by a pretty big margin. So that I think Seminole's going to be really close. I think Seminole could really go either way right now, but I haven't ran my model on it again. It was pretty close. He lost it by around 2, but it's trending blue, so I think it's going to stay with the Democratic Party. I think he's going to narrowly lose Hillsborough. I think he'll lose it by 3, but I think he's going to win Pinellas. I think, this is a more suburban county. It's home of St. Petersburg, but it's kind of more rural up here. It's a more suburban county as well, suburbs of Tampa. I think DeSantis is popular enough with suburbanites that he can actually win it by a lead margin, which might be surprising to some because this is a Democratic trending county. This is a county that Joe Biden did carry despite getting destroyed Miami-Dade. So, yeah, and I think he's going to win St. Lucie. I think he'll win it by a likely margin. I think he'll win it by I think St. Lucie is going to reflect the popular vote of Florida. I think it's going to vote for DeSantis by around 5%, maybe a little more. And I think that's going to give DeSantis the victory in Florida. It'll certainly be key for him. And again, talking about Jefferson County, suburban Tallahassee, I don't think DeSantis is going to come anywhere close to losing that. So this should be the final county map for Florida. Obviously, I'm not going to say that it's going to be 100% accurate because we're so far away, but I think right now this is where the race stands. I do think that Ron DeSantis is Monroe is going to be not even that close. It's DeSantis has Trump's Hispanic appeal, but even more so because he's more moderate than Trump. Or he has better rhetoric. That's rhetoric that seems more moderate than Trump. So I think DeSantis is going to do about as well with Trump as Hispanics, or about as well as Trump did with Hispanics. I'm sorry, I'm talking way too fast right now. And I think he's going to do better with suburbanites, and I think he's going to do maybe the same or maybe a little worse in the rural part of the state. And that's why I think he's so powerful. I think the Democrats, he's really one of the only candidates that Democrats should fear right now, or heading in 2024. They're in a good position right now. They certainly should be happy about where they are. But DeSantis is a great candidate for Florida, or for that's unlike an endorsement. He's a great candidate for the Republicans in Florida, and I don't think the Democrats should try to unseat him. They should be focusing on winning back Georgia. They should be focusing on flipping Arizona, but not Florida. I think Florida, people say it's still a swing state. It is still a swing state, but it's a lean Republican state, and with the popular governor like DeSantis, I think he's going to win re-election. So thank you guys for watching this video. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.